Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam is the freaking best, most iconic moment. It's the moment. In case you missed Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance of the Super Bowl, Samuel L. Jackson pops in as Uncle Sam several times. He calls rap music ghetto. He tells them they're being too loud. This was a statement to me in so many different ways. They had an incredible all black cast who was absolutely amazing, that made the American flag a gazillion different times in a bunch of different formations. There was also some rumblings that the NFL could get in trouble by Drake if he played Not Like Us, and boy did he, and boy did he say Drake's name, and he like stopped and did it. And I just can't help but think like how different this performance would have hit if we had a different president, you guys. It felt like such a political statement, and I just know that there are going to be a bunch of right-wing guys out there talking about how much they hated it, and they never liked Kendrick Lamar's music anyway, and they don't know why they chose him for this moment, and it should have been like Carrie Underwood or whatever. And that's how you're going to know that it was good. That's how you're going to know that the message hit, is when everybody starts complaining about it in about 5 minutes.
A halftime show wasn't supposed to be entertainment. It was a message laced with symbolism about our government and control. In the lyrics, the revolution about to be televised. Right time for the wrong guy. Kendrick warned the audience to pay close attention. Samuel L. Jackson dressed as Uncle Sam, a national personification of the United States, symbolizing our government and our military. Uncle Sam represents patriotism and national identity. But with Samuel L. Jackson playing Uncle Sam, Kendrick was making a statement. He was telling his people to get ready. The division of the American flag highlighted the division in America. The Crips dressed in blue, the Bloods dressed in red. Together, they symbolized our country coming together in unity. The stars and the stripes were divided, illuminating the division in America. Serena Williams' hands shone, lifting the people up. This was more than just a halftime show.
Y'all, I cannot believe I just witnessed that. Kendrick, I can't believe you said it. Like, I knew he was going to perform the song. I didn't think he was going to do it. I thought he was going to skip it. Oh my gosh, Kendrick, I know that Canadian man's finna get his lawyers on the phone. If he ain't got them lawyers on the phone, he finna call him right now. Shut it down. Shut the whole stage down. Kendrick, what have you gotten yourself into? You know this light-skinned man and his berets is not gonna take this lightly. He drawing up them papers right now. He already had them drawn up, if we being honest. Listen, Kendrick, you said this man like what? On the biggest stage in America? With millions and millions of people watching? Oh my gosh, y'all. I cannot believe he actually said it. Like, I just knew he was going to skip it. But Kendrick is always going to be the villain in the story. Girl, that short man, listen, do not piss a short man off. Listen. Oh my gosh, Kendrick. Oh, y'all, we got to talk about this. Y'all.
So we're about to get into a deep dive of all of the symbolism that was shown throughout Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance. And we are going to start from the beginning with Samuel L. Jackson dressed as Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam was used in the early 19th century as a depiction of America personified. He was a representation of American pride and patriotism, but also propaganda when it came to recruitment and war. When it comes to accuracy, Kendrick Lamar could have easily chosen a white man to play Uncle Sam and to narrate the performance. But instead, he chose Samuel L. Jackson, who has also played this role in Django as an Uncle Tom. And in the movie, he was in love with his white slave owner. And Uncle Toms within culture, especially Black culture, are Black men who are not only obedient, but also uphold white supremacy. And so we see perfect examples of that through Kanye West, Snoop Dogg, Nelly. And so going back to Samuel L. Jackson here, a Black man dressed in all American gear, I think is a clear depiction of they're not like us. It doesn't matter what your skin tone is. And then also going to Welcome to the Great American Game is a double entendre because we're obviously watching the Super Bowl, but he's talking about the game that is America and being Black in America. And so to start his performance, Kendrick is standing on top of a 1987 Buick, a Grand National GNX, which is also his album name, GNX. And not only that, this is also clear representation of his upbringing in Compton, but also the car culture in Compton as well. He starts his performance off with a freestyle where he talks about no hugs and no handshakes because he's not playing nice, and that you wouldn't get the picture if he sat you for hours at the Louvre. I think that represents the political climate that we're in now, whereas there's no time or no room for niceties right now. Either you get it or you don't. At the end of his freestyle, Kendrick Lamar says, "The revolution is about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy," which is a play off of Jill Scott Heron's "The Revolution Will Not Be Televised" song, which was a critique on the American media, saying that they only focused on propaganda, consumerism, and entertainment. But in order for real change, people had to step out of their homes for liberation, for protest, and for freedom. You had to be actively involved in order to fight for justice. So with Kendrick saying the revolution will be televised, you chose the right time but the wrong guy, is him saying that you chose the perfect person for this performance. The timing couldn't be more perfect. Kendrick then performs Squabble Up, and before he could even finish, Samuel L. Jackson comes in and says, "No, no, no, too loud, too reckless, too ghetto." Kendrick Lamar, do you really know how to play the game? Then tighten up. And this is clear conditioning within white supremacy and America, which is that Black people should be docile, Black people should be quiet, Black people should be grateful for scraps. And playing the game goes back to being obedient. Kendrick Lamar then performs Humble, Be Humble, Sit Down, with his dancers dressed as the American flag and a division between the flag that represents a clear division within America. We've barely scratched the surface, and this video is getting long, so follow for part 2.
No, these are not just eerie warnings for our lives, but we are being warned that they are watching us, and if we don't do something now, we won't survive to the next year. People were terrified after Kendrick Lamar's haunting halftime performance left the crowd in complete shock, with many saying that it's not just a demonic warning, but a horrifying prediction of what America will become, with it already coming true, and none of us will be able to escape this new era. Images showed the hailing of the Freemason to symbolize how America is in trouble and needs to prepare for the worst, with flashing clips also showing the hangman referenced in tarot cards to say Americans are about to be cursed with lots of death. The performance ends with the terrifying phrases "game over" and "warning, wrong way" flashed right at where Trump is sitting.
And of course they had to flash one of their favorite signs in their symbols, but they sure do love their pyramids. Even Samuel L. Jackson had to flash a certain hand sign. This has to do with the 666.
What do you think this means?
I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love to sue just to still do the song. It's crazy. Then to have Serena Williams from Compton, Drake's ex, crib walking on the song is crazy. The little A chain, that stands for PG Lang, but also A minor is also crazy. That man said in front of the world, "Say Drake, I heard you like I'm young," and looked into the camera. It was giving Bernie Mac. America? Like if I was Drake, I would have to fight Kendrick at this point, but I feel like Drake will lose that fight. Kendrick and them size 7 loafers will be whooping on him, for real. Y'all know I came to keep it short and simple. The whole purpose of the performance was to show that America is a game, and they don't mind you being a part and playing the game as long as you play it by their rules. Samuel L. Jackson was Uncle Sam, narrating the whole story, telling Kendrick what he should do and what he should not be doing. It was actually really genius. You notice after Kendrick did Squabble Up, Samuel came back and said, "Do you know how to play the game? You too loud, too reckless, too ghetto." But then when Kendrick did the songs with SZA, that was real cute. He was like, "Yeah, that's how you play the game. Real nice and calm. That's what America wants." It was all intentional. After Samuel called him too loud, too ghetto, too reckless, then they performed in the American flag formation. And then the stage was obviously a PlayStation controller, so the X is where they performed Peekaboo, the circle was where they performed All the Stars, the triangle was where SZA performed Luther, and then the square was at the end when they did TV Off. And then the ending was turn this TV off, he turned the TV off, and then it said game over, so the whole game was over. That was the whole concept of the performance. Now, my thoughts on the performance is I enjoyed it. I understand what he was trying to do, and I feel like he executed it well. Now, my only thing is that I wanted some more throwback Kendrick songs. I for sure thought I was about to get the Don't Kill My Vibe, the Poetic Justice, the Swimming Pools, Money Trees, Love, Loyalty, even Sing About Me, something. So I thought I was going to get that. That's the only thing I was saying. Because usually when people do the Super Bowl, they do their biggest hits, their greatest songs that everybody know. Kendrick chose to go a different route and did most of his songs from GNX. But I'm proud to be from LA, somebody from Compton, born and raised, made it to the Super Bowl. I can never be mad about that. Shout out to all my homies dancing, you know what I'm saying? Y'all did y'all big one. I wish my best friend was in there, stormed the barge. I was looking for her, but other than that, the dancers killed. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the performance. I really didn't think he was about to do Not Like Us, but he really did it, and I was grateful. And they so petty, because did you hear the whole audience scream, "A minor"? Like, they made sure we heard that. That's so petty. And then Kendrick said, yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you cannot fake influence. And that was a word, too. But yeah, those are my thoughts. And y'all also have to remember, that man is a rapper. He's not a major red dancer. He's not none of those people. So if you thought he was about to be hitting full 8 counts for the whole 13 minutes, you're insane. Some of y'all wasn't going to be satisfied with nothing that he did because y'all wanted Lil Wayne. So I don't even know why y'all watched just to hate on it, really. But yeah, I liked it and I understood it. Now, was it my favorite halftime performance ever? No, but it was still good. I liked it. And hopefully the Drake and Kendrick thing is done because I'm tired of it, okay? And did y'all see that man run on the field with that Palestine flag and they tackled him? I said, y'all could have let him stay, for real.
Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam is the freaking best, most iconic moment. It's the moment. In case you missed Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance of the Super Bowl, Samuel L. Jackson pops in as Uncle Sam several times. He calls rap music ghetto. He tells them they're being too loud. This was a statement to me in so many different ways. They had an incredible all-black cast who was absolutely amazing, that made the American flag a gazillion different times in a bunch of different formations. There was also some rumblings that the NFL could get in trouble by Drake if he played Not Like Us, and boy did he, and boy did he say Drake's name, and he like stopped and did it. And I just can't help but think like how different this performance would have hit if we had a different president, you guys. It felt like such a political statement, and I just know that there are going to be a bunch of right-wing guys out there talking about how much they hated it, and they never liked Kendrick Lamar's music anyway, and they don't know why they chose him for this moment, and it should have been like Carrie Underwood or whatever. And that's how you're going to know that it was good. That's how you're going to know that the message hit, is when everybody starts complaining about it in about 5 minutes.
Many celebrities have reacted to Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show performance. First up, Taylor Swift said, "Just who else can do this?" Next, Eminem said, "This looks insane for everyone witnessing it in real life." Next, Jay-Z said, "Definitely the right guy for the job." Next, Travis Kelce said, "The atmosphere during Not Like Us was unmatched." Next, Rihanna said, "Everything I needed and more." And finally, Chris Brown said, "Gonna be his year again, huh?" Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show in New Orleans was nothing short of a cultural moment, blending music, storytelling, and controversy into a 13-minute performance that has left fans and critics buzzing. As expected, Kendrick's set list included some of his biggest hits like Humble and DNA, alongside newer tracks from his GNX album. However, the most talked about moment came when he performed Not Like Us, his Grammy-winning diss track aimed at Drake. While Kendrick excluded some of the song's more controversial lyrics during the live rendition, he leaned into its confrontational energy, even flashing a sly grin at the camera as the crowd chanted along to the infamous "a minor" line. SZA joined Kendrick on stage for their collaborations Luther and All the Stars, adding a more pop touch to the performance. Despite the praise for Kendrick's artistry and boldness, the performance has not been without backlash. Critics have accused him of using the Super Bowl stage to escalate his feud with Drake, arguing that it overshadowed the celebratory nature of the event. Others felt the show leaned too heavily on symbolism, with some calling it divisive rather than unifying. Fans, however, have largely defended Kendrick's approach, praising him for staying true to his vision and using the platform to deliver a meaningful message. Social media has been flooded with reactions ranging from admiration for his creativity to debates about whether his performance crossed any lines. This performance has yet again been another viral moment for Kendrick. Whether people loved or hated the performance, one thing is certain, and that thing is that everybody is definitely talking about it. For this video's comment question, do you think Kendrick deserved the gig? Before you go, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for daily news updates on your favorite celebs. Thanks a lot for watching.
Unless you've been living under a rock, you should be aware of what happened during Kendrick Lamar's performance during the Super Bowl halftime. This is the moment that a performer got up on stage to raise a, you guessed it, Palestinian and Sudan solidarity flag at the Super Bowl. And in some clips, you can actually see the security going up to detain him. Can you see that? Wait, look at that shit. If you're an American, can you believe that they want to take this app away from you? Because how would you even know that this even happened at the Super Bowl if it wasn't for TikTok? His name is Zulkarnain Ntambo, and he's now officially been banned from not only all Super Bowl events, but all related events from some of the biggest names, brands, and industry giants within the industry. And bro, I cannot even begin to explain the amount of respect I have for this man. How interesting and convenient that the most important aspect of Kendrick's entire performance is completely ignored and completely censored from major news outlets and for the entire world to see. Nah, guys, that to me is a performer with actual integrity. And I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not even surprised at the fact that my American mutuals and people just in general are telling me that the news is not showing this whatsoever.
Kendrick Lamar halftime show was a big display on how America views black people. Having Samuel L. Jackson play Uncle Sam, which is pretty much the same character he played in Django, Steven, as the narrator of the entire Super Bowl halftime show. Kendrick comes out performing the intro track to GNA, and Uncle Sam hops on screen saying, "No, too loud, too reckless, too ghetto." And the very next track that Kendrick performs is Humble. Sit down, be humble. But then he switches to DNA. I got loyalty, I got royalty inside my DNA. I'm tired of being humble. I know who I am. I know who my people are. Then he transitions to Euphoria, and I was like, Euphoria, the diss track, what's the relevance to this? But it's the part of Euphoria that he performed. Have you ever played? Have you ever? Okay, nigga, let's play. Have you ever walked your enemy down like with a poker face? You're playing the game, but the enemy think you're playing by their rules. Then he goes into Man at the Garden, under a streetlight, white tees, gold grills, and he's talking about everything he feels like he deserved. I deserve it all. And Uncle Sam walks up and say, "Oh, you got your homeboys with you. You think you deserve all this. You think you're supposed to get more than what we give you. Now we go deduct one life." So when Kendrick and SZA perform Luther and All the Stars, Uncle Sam is like, "Yeah, this is what we want. Something calm. Something very easily digestible. This is what you need to do. Be quiet. Don't cause too much ruckus. Just play the game the way we designed it for you to play." And Kendrick Lamar throughout this whole thing is pretty much saying, I'm not going to confine to your rules. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do, especially when somebody likes to sue. Uncle Sam is pretty much telling them, you almost at the finish line. Don't mess this up. And then he performs Not Like Us anyway. Say, Drake, the revolution will be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. Meaning you picked the wrong president, but at the same time, it's meaning you picked somebody to perform in the Super Bowl that you thought you could control. Nah. This is definitely my favorite Super Bowl performance ever.
All right, so we're going to break down all the symbolism in Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance. Starting with Samuel L. Jackson, who represents and exemplifies Uncle Sam, who is the embodiment of America. Often depicted as a white man, he represents patriotism, the government, and the American people. As we know, America was literally built by black people. Uncle Sam does not exemplify black people. Obviously, historically, he never has. So putting Samuel L. Jackson, who is a black cultural icon, in that role is multi-layered for that purpose, but also to show, first of all, it is political. It's also a funny play on his name, like Samuel L. Jackson, Uncle Sam. Let's get into the opening song by Kendrick. Also going to be including a lot of the lyrics from this performance. He says, everybody must be judged, but this God only favoring us. Also, you would not get the picture if I had to sit you for hours in front of the Louvre. If you don't know what the Louvre is, it is the most famous museum ever. For him to say that he could sit you in front of the Louvre for hours and you still wouldn't get it, is really speaking to the people who didn't get this performance. Honestly, he already knew before this performance that this is gonna go over a lot of y'all heads. The revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. Y'all thought that I was gonna get up here and be cute, but I'm not. So the next song is Squabble Up, which if y'all don't know, Squabble Up has two meanings. Get ready to fight and square up or dance. Black History Month is a celebration for us, but it's a threat to the people who want to erase what we've done for this country. Samuel L. Jackson comes back and tells everybody that this performance is too ghetto, and he asks Kendrick if he knows how to play the game. Any black person knows this too well. Like, this spoke to my soul, because that is constantly what we are walking the fine line of. Being able to embrace our culture and also people not deeming us as palatable to society. Also within any industry, especially the entertainment industry, he also is at the Super Bowl stage, walking a fine line. Is it too much for certain people? I mean, we saw how mad everybody got. Then performs Be Humble, and during that performance, shows the American flag with these dancers. By the way, these colors are fucking brilliant because it is so layered. One is obviously intended to represent the American flag, but wait for how this all ties back. Next, we got DNA, which is a song about embracing black culture and heritage. In the song, the lyrics was born like this, performed like this, Yeshua new weapon. Yeshua is a Hebrew name that means to rescue or to deliver. Next, we got the Euphoria performance, but look what this says. It's a little hard to make out, but the lights in the audience say warning wrong way. And he says in the song, have you ever walked your enemy down with a poker face? which is definitely some Drake shade because he's basically saying you're not really about it. And this is the portion where the Drake shade starts to kind of come into this performance while also having a bigger messaging. The part that he chooses to perform during Man at the Garden is also very symbolic. Flip a coin, want the shameless me or the famous me? How annoying does it angers me to know the lames can speak on the origins of the game I breathe. That's insane to me. It is important I deserve it all because it's mine. Tell me why you think you deserve the greatest of all time. Basically saying to some of his fan base, a specific group of people, why do they feel this entitlement over him, his artistry, and the things that he talks about, as well as even feeling like they deserve to have a voice in the conversation of hip hop in this culture when they have no understanding of the life. They have no understanding of what Black people go through in this country, yet y'all want to be the loudest ones in the room when it comes to Black culture. He then goes ahead and spares Drake for a little bit, teasing that Not Like Us is coming up. He says, I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love to sue. Obviously, Drake's shade with him literally trying to sue his actual label because of feeling like they propped Kendrick up to take him down. And go into the performance, which says that she's still on theme. One song that I think is really significant that they performed was All the Stars. Even though that's the more poppy commercial song out of all the ones performed, there's significance in the fact that it was for the Black Panther soundtrack. Not Like Us. First of all, let's talk about what the song is about, which is about Drake being a culture vulture. It's very simple, but also very layered in the aspect of like not being us in the context of this song. It's basically being somebody who is willing to use Black culture in the Black community for gain without actually contributing anything to it. And there are so many fucking people that do this in this industry, specifically Drake, who the song is a diss to. Remember how I said the blue, white, and red has more significance than just representing the American flag? This also shows how Kendrick Lamar, through this diss track, was able to bring the Crips and the Bloods together for a common enemy who is a Canadian. A Canadian, y'all. And this is America. And this whole performance is American themed. And using those colors to do it is a fucking genius. And then we get a cameo from Serena Williams, who is a Black woman in this country, legendary tennis player, who has been disrespected countless times. Also from Compton, like Kendrick. And she's doing the Crip walk. Not to mention the line from DNA. I just win again like Wimbledon. In the final performance of TV Off, we have him bring out DJ Mustard. This is a perfect way to close this show off. It also has multiple layers. It's about demanding more and about not falling prone to being a part of mediocrity, remaining focused on like your purpose, which is also really cool that he brought out DJ Mustard for this because they united working on this project together. Also, ending the performance with game over and then clicking the remote to turn the TV off, really speaking to the Black community and asking more out of who the Black community shares their culture with, not allowing another Drake to appear, calling out this country for its lack of appreciation for Black culture and Black people who literally built the country. This performance was a love letter to his community, to his city where he's from, to Black America. And I loved every fucking moment because I just know there are some executives sitting around pissed because they did not realize that he was gonna do the show that he did. Chef's fucking kiss.